So, get this. In this quiet little village, there was this kid named Kabir, super smart, like seriously bright. But there was one huge problem. The dude just couldn't focus to save his life. He'd sit down to study and 5 minutes later, boom, he's thinking about video games, his phone, literally anything except what he was supposed to be doing. His dad used to tell him, "Son, your mind's like a wild horse. If you don't learn to control it, it'll drag you wherever it wants." But, of course, Kabir just brushed it off until the day he met this wise old teacher named Guruji. Now here's where it gets interesting. Guruji handed Kabir a glass of water and said, "Walk around my garden without spilling a drop." Sounds simple, right? Except it wasn't. Birds were chirping, kids were laughing, leaves rustling, and yeah, the water kept spilling. That's when Guruji hit him with the truth that would change everything. This glass is your goal, and the water is your focus. Every distraction makes you lose a part of it. What happened next completely flipped Kabir's life around. So after that day in the garden, Kabir couldn't stop thinking about what Guruji said. The glass is your goal, the water is your focus. Those words kept echoing in his head like a song on repeat. For the first time, he realized just how scattered his mind really was. Every time he tried to study, something as small as a buzzing phone or a knock on the door would throw him off track. He started noticing how his friends could sit for hours and finish their work, while he jumped from one thing to another without getting anything done. It bugged him a lot. One night, he sat on his bed and thought, if I can't control my own mind, how am I supposed to control my life? That was the moment something clicked. The next morning, Kabir made a decision. He was done being distracted. He'd start small, no big promises, just little changes every day. But trust me, he had no idea how hard it was about to get. At first, Kabir thought it'd be easy. Just stay focused, right? But man, reality hit fast. The moment he sat down to study, his phone lit up with notifications. His friends texted him to hang out, and suddenly everything seemed more interesting than his books. It was like his brain was wired to chase distractions. But this time, he remembered Guruji's lesson. Every time he caught himself drifting off, he imagined that glass of water again. One wrong move, and his focus would spill. So, he started fighting back. He'd switch off his phone, close his door, and set a timer for just 20 minutes. For those 20 minutes, he promised himself to give his full attention. Still, it wasn't perfect. Some days he lost track, got frustrated, even thought about giving up. But every night, he'd tell himself, tomorrow I'll spill less water. That mindset, tiny, consistent effort, started to change everything. And then, one morning, something happened that proved he was finally getting it. One morning, Kabir sat by his window just before sunrise. The world was quiet, no noise, no distractions, just the sound of birds waking up. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and remembered Guruji's words. That's when he tried something new, meditation. Just a few minutes of sitting still, focusing on his breathing. At first, it felt weird. His mind raced in 100 directions, but he kept pulling it back, again and again. Days turned into weeks, and something started to shift. His thoughts became clearer, his mood calmer. Even his dad noticed. "You're different these days," he said one evening. "More focused. More steady." Kabir just smiled, and he knew it wasn't magic. It was discipline. Every morning he practiced silence. Every day he worked without checking his phone 1,000 times. His grades began climbing. His teachers started praising him. The kid who once couldn't sit still for 5 minutes was now leading study groups. But life was about to test his focus in the biggest way yet. Months later, the whole school was buzzing. A huge national competition had just been announced. Students from all over the country would compete to solve complex problems under serious time pressure. Kabir's classmates were nervous, but he felt something different, calm confidence. The old him would have panicked, but the new Kabir had trained for this moment without even realizing it. When the day came, the exam hall was filled with tension. Pens clicking, clocks ticking, kids whispering nervously. The questions were brutal, the kind that make your brain freeze. But Kabir remembered that glass of water. He blocked out the noise, focused on one problem at a time, and refused to look around. While others freaked out, he just breathed and kept going. When it was all over, Kabir walked out feeling drained but peaceful. He'd done his best, and deep down, he knew something had changed forever. Still, he had no idea what was waiting for him when the results were announced. A week later, the entire village gathered in front of the school notice board. The results were finally out. Kids were shouting, teachers were whispering, everyone was anxious. Kabir stood quietly in the back, his heart racing like crazy. When the principal started reading the names of the winners, time felt like it slowed down. And then it happened. First place, Kabir. The crowd went wild. His friends cheered, his father's eyes filled with tears, and Guruji just stood there with a proud smile. Kabir couldn't believe it. The same boy who once couldn't focus for 5 minutes had just beaten hundreds of students across the country. Guruji walked up to him and said softly, "Now you understand, discipline doesn't kill your freedom. It gives you control." Kabir nodded. He finally got it. Focus wasn't about blocking the world out. It was about mastering yourself within it. But his journey didn't stop there, because what he did next turned his lesson into a legacy. After that victory, Kabir became kind of a legend in his village. Not because he was the smartest, but because he had mastered something way harder, his own mind. Kids started coming to him for advice. Parents told their children his story. And every time someone asked how he did it, Kabir would smile and say, "Start small. Win the battle inside your head first." He kept his daily habits strong. Early mornings, calm meditation, full attention on whatever he did. Even when life threw challenges his way, he faced them with the same steady focus Guruji had taught him. Over time, he realized something powerful. Talent and luck might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. So if you're hearing this right now and feeling that little spark inside, don't ignore it. Don't wait for the right time. Start today. Control your focus, and you'll control your future.